The ancient traditions of humanity did not map the end of the world as a sudden physical cataclysm. They did not foresee a rain of fire or a cosmic collision. Instead, they warned of a quiet, terrifying process: liquefaction. A slow, irreversible melting away of everything solid, everything permanent, and everything sacred. In the ancient Hindu cyclical view of time, this final stage of cosmic decay is known as the Kali Yuga, the Dark Age. It is an era characterized by the total collapse of spiritual hierarchy and the triumph of pure materialism. Today, we are going to explore the darkest philosophical critique of the digital age. We are going to look at AI and cyberspace through the lens of radical traditionalism. And we are going to ask the ultimate question: in a world that increasingly dissolves your sense of self, how do you remain unbroken? It's time to learn the esoteric art of riding the digital tiger. Look around you. This is the terrain we now navigate. The question is no longer whether we can escape it, but whether we can survive it without losing our humanity. When the traditionalist philosophers surveyed the mid-20th century, they saw the machine age as the ultimate engine of this civilizational collapse. They looked at the factories, the mass media, and the political frenzies of the time, and saw a world that had severed its connection to the transcendent, the vertical axis of existence, and collapsed entirely into a frantic horizontal plane of survival and distraction. They watched the foundations crumble in real time, long before the architecture of the digital world was even conceived. The traditionalists would not recognize cyberspace as a tool, nor as a breakthrough, and certainly not as progress. They would likely recognize it as the final, ultimate terminal of the Kali Yuga. It is the realm where reality itself is completely liquefied, digitized, and stripped of substance. Before we can proceed, we have to look at how traditionalism constructs reality itself. In this worldview, existence is structured vertically, like a spire. True reality is fixed, eternal, and unyielding, built upon transcendent truths and a sacred, unshakable sense of self. It is the absolute opposite of everything our modern world represents. Cyberspace is the exact inverted parody of this order. It is inherently horizontal, fluid, and formless. Consider what happens to a human being when they step across the digital threshold. In cyberspace, your essence is fundamentally disassembled. You no longer exist as a whole, integrated soul. Instead, you are shattered into a mosaic of ghost metrics, reduced to a collection of data points, a tracking profile, and a shifting set of artificial opinions explicitly engineered to match the trend of the hour. This is the exact psychological mechanism of the horizontal plane. When you cross that threshold, the algorithmic environment demands a toll. It requires you to swap your internal anchor for external validation. You stop acting from a place of deep, vertical permanence and start reacting to the shifting currents of the feed. Instagram sets the standard of beauty. TikTok determines outrage and also what is considered funny. ChatGPT writes your emails, outsourcing your very voice to a server rack. Spotify predicts your tastes before you've had time to develop them. We surrender these parts of ourselves willingly, forgetting that convenience is rarely how civilizations describe the beginning of dependence. It turns the individual into something modular, easily cataloged, easily manipulated, and entirely predictable. To remain whole in that space requires a constant, active vigilance because the matrix is designed to ensure you forget what you looked like before you became a profile. In this digital matrix, there is no up or down. The architecture has been completely flattened. A sacred text, a timeless masterwork of philosophy, a piece of degrading pornography, and a mindless, fleeting meme. They are all forced into the exact same digital real estate. Stripped of context, stripped of reverence, they no longer possess individual meaning. They are reduced to the ultimate modern profanity: content. They are all equalized by the scroll. Search engines determine what is relevant, curating the boundaries of your thoughts. This is the leveling of all values. The internet doesn't connect us. It liquefies our attention, making it impossible to anchor our minds in anything permanent. It is designed to keep you perpetually distracted, ensuring you never look upward to the transcendent axis of life. We mistake this tailored environment for freedom, failing to realize the terrifying truth of the algorithm. The most powerful prison is the one that feels like personalization. But the dissolution does not stop at the user interface. It has built an engine. To fully understand what we are creating today, we have to look past the marketing buzzwords of Silicon Valley and revisit an old cautionary tale from folklore: the legend of the golem. Historically, a golem is an artificial being conjured from inanimate matter, usually clay or mud, and brought to life through mystical incantations. It is a creature designed to serve, possessing immense, superhuman strength. Yet, the golem has a fatal flaw. It is entirely soulless. It lacks a conscience. It lacks independent judgment, and it merely follows orders with blind, literal exactness. Today, we speak of artificial intelligence with a sense of secular awe. Tech prophets speak of the singularity as if it were a coming religious awakening, a mechanical god being born from silicon chips. But through a traditionalist lens, we haven't given birth to a god at all. We have simply built a digital golem. To the broader traditionalist framework, mistaking this machine for an entity of higher wisdom is a profound and dangerous delusion. The media theorist Marshall McLuhan believed that every new medium radically reshapes human consciousness, fundamentally altering how we perceive the world. But traditionalists would argue something darker. They make a vital, uncompromising distinction between two distinct human faculties: the ratio, or mere logical calculation, and the intellect, historically known as nous. The ratio is entirely mechanical. It is the ability to sort data, count, calculate probabilities, and solve structured problems. AI possesses an infinite, staggering capacity for ratio, but lacks subjective experience and spiritual intuition, severely limiting its capacity for intellect. It has no connection to the vertical plane. It cannot experience the sacred, nor can it channel genuine creative genius from a source beyond ourselves. By treating AI as an oracle, humanity is committing an act of spiritual abdication. We have taken our mechanical logic, automated it, detached it completely from a living soul, and housed it in a server farm. We have given life to an automated golem of pure ratio. The danger isn't just that the golem might replace our jobs. The danger is that we are mistaking its complex calculations for higher truth. When we allow algorithms to dictate what is true, what is beautiful, and what is moral, we are bowing down to a machine that mimics human thought but lacks the breath of life. It is a parodical inversion of the divine, a counterfeit intellect that demands we flatten our own consciousness just to match its parameters. So, what is the solution? When confronted with the horrors of the modern machine age, the typical human response is split. On one side is the techno-utopian, who happily surrenders his mind to the matrix. On the other side is the nostalgic escapist, the neo-Luddite who dreams of throwing away his phone, fleeing to the woods, and pretending the modern world doesn't exist. The traditionalist philosopher Julius Evola offered a third, far more radical path. In his seminal text, Ride the Tiger, he argued that when a civilization enters its twilight, its final stage of decay, attempting to block the path of the machine is a fool's errand. You cannot stop the momentum of a collapsing epic by force or nostalgia. If you stand directly in front of the tiger, it will devour you. If you turn your back and run, it will hunt you down. Instead, you must do the unthinkable. You must ride the tiger. To ride the tiger means to exist in the modern world, but never of it. It is the path of what Evola called the differentiated man. Applied to our digital reality, riding the tiger means you do not delete your accounts and hide in a cave, nor do you let the algorithm dictate your desires. You treat cyberspace exactly for what it is, a dangerous synthetic wilderness, an artificial plane that you navigate with total, diamond-hard inner detachment. The differentiated man uses the internet, uses AI, and interacts with the matrix, but he doesn't have any psychological handles for the machine to grab onto. He practices what the ancients called impersonal action. He does not scroll for amusement or validation. He uses the network as a cold, sharp instrument to accomplish a specific purpose and then detaches. The algorithm thrives on your reactivity. It feeds on your anger, your lust, your anxiety, and your need for approval. Every time you lose your temper in a comment section or spend hours mindlessly scrolling, you are feeding the digital egregore. You are letting the tiger drag you into the swamp of dissolution. But the moment you cultivate absolute inner silence, the moment you look at the flashing lights of cyberspace and feel absolutely nothing but a cold, sovereign detachment, the power dynamic flips. You are no longer the prey. You are the rider. Cyberspace wants to liquefy you. It wants to dissolve your identity, your attention span, and your connection to anything higher than a screen. Don't let it. Turn the weapon around. Use this chaotic, hyper-accelerated digital age not as a source of comfort, but as a ruthless training ground for your own discipline. Find your center. Maintain your vertical axis. The tiger is running at full speed toward the abyss. Make sure that when it falls, you are the one standing on solid ground. Remember this ultimate law of the modern wilderness. The algorithm cannot enslave a person who no longer needs its approval.